Alright folks, I think we're in business. You may say I've seen this before, and hopefully YouTube does not nuke my main channel, because that's what happened. As you may or may not know, you are a slave to the algorithms. Probably shouldn't have said that, since apparently algorithms don't like certain words and will demonetize you, but I'm not getting money anyway. But yeah, I had alternate channels because you're supposed to have different things to support the algorithm, but I don't have different channels anymore. I just have the one. I have petitioned to get those back, but it really doesn't matter. I mean, trying to make this work, and maybe that's just the sign that this is not going to work and I should move on. What I'm trying to do. But anyway, let's get to the actual video. Here we have our Attack on Titan review. Normally this would be on the anime-centered channel, but I guess my main channel is going to have everything, which is going to be great for algorithm reasons. Find me on YouTube at RaisinBman. Find me on Twitter at RaisinBman. I am RaisinBman. Yeah. Attack on Titan has been a staple of many people's lives for at least the past decade. It hasn't been stellar, however. A problematic production schedule, multiple animation studios being ran through, and actual controversies around the property. The series also propelled the then relatively unknown Hajime Isayama into blinding fame and fortune, as even today Attack on Titan is the 11th most popular manga of all time. And when I say Isayama was blindsided by his staggering success, I'm not kidding. The manga was so successful, but the manga was successful, I mean, but the anime was where it really popped off. So Isayama, in his particular worldview, didn't really think of it for years, much of it for years, and suddenly one day he's the GOAT. Something like that can be hard to process, as evidenced by his interviews. As we came to find out, Isayama was telling a very personal story, and one day the entire world put their hopes and dreams on his shoulders. Being generous, you could say Isayama was careless, not realizing his fame and reach, fascists being given ground to stand on, insensitive depictions of characters that alluded to real-life groups. Being critical, you could say he failed his readers. He set the anime world on fire, had a great setup with the basement reveal, was not afraid to kill, change characters, yet kept an ending that ultimately wouldn't be what the world wanted. Either way, it is no surprise everyone had a hard time swallowing the medicinal grade pill that was the ending. But I get ahead of myself. Let's think back to the 10 years of enjoyment this series has given us. It was a good time, no doubt. It animated well, had hype music and moments, and nothing and no one was sacred. There was some strange, humor, which I didn't really understand. Also, some of the faces in general were hard to read. My spider sense was on a low hum as I saw the heel turn of Eren, and I mentally questioned if it would be worth it. Still, I enjoyed most of it. Much like another series, The Promised Neverland, I knew from the moment I heard about it, the basement reveal would be the linchpin for the series to tell us if it was all worth it. Nothing would be the same after, and the mangaka knew it. The ultimate problem is we get to the ending. Eren made a turn into many things, but for brevity's sake, he became a fascist. There are a lot of ridiculous half explanations for why this happened, and the fact that it went there was only through author intent. You may have been expecting a moral, or at least a last-minute change of heart by Eren, or the dreaded was all a dream, or even for it to suck because there's no way anyone could land the plane that Isayama built. But the truth that I believe is, Isayama wanted this to be the ending because it was always the ending. Why would Isayama want to ruin the ending of his best-selling, deified manga? Because he's Eren. Even visually, I'm sure you may have seen the resemblance, even if you didn't realize Eren was a self-insert. I know it sounds a little weird, but this was always the path the story was going to take and the ending Isayama wanted. Before the anime, before it sold even a copy, this was Isayama's vision. You may be skeptical, and we may never know, but Tomino Ryu of Gundam fame may have figured that out before the majority of us, stating Isayama is a stubborn bully child who relieves his anger through drawing manga, while also lamenting the era we're in. If this is what we have to show for it. Anime was a mistake, rings out in the distance. Isayama has also said this, in fact, was the ending he wanted in interviews. However reviled, however unwise it was Isayama's planned end. So this was not a publisher-afflicted wound, which you normally would assume to be the case. You might say, I'd never throw this cash cow away, but the thing is, you're not Isayama. I was watching a Polish horror film with my girlfriend at the time, and there was a sequel. The sequel was trash in that for some reason it was horror, and they decided to turn it into a sexual comedy is the best way I could put it. I really didn't get far through it. Not everyone has their eyes set on being in manga forever. As the saying goes, change is the only constant. But wanting it to end like that is an excuse enough when there are media within the realm of dark fantasy that do the same thing without our phrase betraying the reader. In particular, it's been pointed out that if you really do like an Eren-like character, you could read the much better Berserk. Vinland Saga is another where I don't love the ending, but the main character does what Eren does. He just doesn't get to be some sort of alpha Chad who solves all his problems, all the world problems, while also causing a lot of pain and bloodshed. Even outside the anime and manga, there are plenty of modern pieces of media that explore extremely pertinent political themes and the darkness of humanity. I didn't give Zack Snyder a pass for his complete misunderstanding of superheroes, and I won't give Isayama a pass for his responsibility as someone putting media out into the world. On one hand, we yearn for art to be unique and to truly captivate and surprise us. On another, there is a very base human trait to enjoy the familiar, which is why every McDonald's you see is nearly the same. Isayama wrote a very personal story that millions of people happen to see. If the hands of time were reversed, should this have ever happened? Would it have been better if Isayama didn't find a publisher and his vision remained in his head or on the shelves unsold? I personally think part of it is how Japan has swept under the rug various skeletons while keeping up a facade of anime being one of their main exports. Isayama, speaking through Eren, tells us he's an idiot and basically genocided the world because he wanted to. So does admitting his faults absolve him? I enjoyed most of Attack on Titan, but the end made me hate Eren and dislike Isayama. And for all of this musing, who knows if Isayama will ever speak on it again beyond the minor changes we got in the anime. I imagine his royalties may carry him to the grave, so he may never engage in manga again, considering how much he seems to dislike people. Excuse me. The world and, well, most everything we may never know. So ultimately, Attack on Titan gets a B before the basement reveal, but D as a whole if you include the ending. Okay. So this was the old ranking, and again, YouTube said follow the algorithm. I tried to follow the algorithm. My channels got nuked, so you may not recognize this. But here we are, okay? I'll just leave this on screen for a second again. This music is True Backer and Tetuano Loser, the track is called. It is a royalty-free track. Check me out on RaisinBman on YouTube, which is where you are. Also on Twitter. Number of other places probably for better or worse. But yeah, as you can see, Attack on Titan has some company here, and it's not good company. But yeah. Let's see. Okay. Again, thanks for tuning in, folks.